What's good, everybody? I'm Josiah the Prince, producer, artist, engineer based in Wisconsin, and you're now tuned into the Journey podcast, where we strive to inspire the future generation of creators, biz owners, and entrepreneurs. Today, we have a special guest today. Our special guest is the CEO of Fast Life Entertainment, the VP of Slip and Slide Records. He's managed artists such as Trick Daddy, Trina, Amara La Negra, Pitbull, Pretty Ricky, and so many more. Today, we have Jullian Boothe from Love and Hip Hop Miami. Thank you for being on here today, sir.
Of course, my brother. My pleasure.
Great. Without further ado, I know you're a busy man, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into this interview.
Let's do it.
All right. My first question is, who is Jullian Boothe and what is Fast Life Entertainment?
Jullian Boothe. I've been a instrumental A&R marketing VP at two iconic record labels, Luke Records and Slip and Slide Records. I've been blessed to been able to have worked with incredible artists like Rick Ross, Plows, Trick Daddy, Trina. And in my journey, I was able to discover Pitbull, Amara La Negra, and been able to work with an array of other artists, Waka Flocka, Jagged Edge. So I've just been a music executive in Miami and been able to create some of the biggest records to ever come out of Miami and some of the biggest artists that's come out of Miami. And with Fast Life now, Fast Life is more just myself, where Slip and Slide and Luke Records, I was working under incredible mentors, Ted Lucas and Uncle Luther Campbell. But, as any entrepreneur and boss, I learned from the greatest, and then I just went on my own to start my own company. So now I'm able to pass on opportunities like distribution and management and consulting to up and coming artists and help them on the journey, since I know what it takes. So Fast Life, we're an entertainment company, TV, music, films, publishing, management. It's just anything to do with entertainment. We're in there.
Yes, sir. I definitely see you all over the place. You're definitely doing your thing, and I appreciate you providing a platform for artists such as myself, or even creatives in general, the platform to be able to showcase what we are and who we are as individuals. I appreciate you.
Definitely. Thank you.
How long have you been in the entertainment industry, and how did you get started?
Long time ago, I was in high school, and me and my two other best friends who I grew up with, we started a rap group. So, we were doing like talent shows here and there. And this guy was a manager, and he heard us, and he was like, "Yo, you guys are dope." He took us to the studio, and, we were cutting a couple songs, but it never went nowhere. But it was the energy at the studio that I loved. It was the energy of doing a photo shoot. And I was like, yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. So after I graduated, I went to school for like 2 years learning film and TV and music. And then Luke, I was working for a management company that was managing Luke. And Luke used to see me all the time. And, I guess it was just my energy. And he was like, "Yo, I want you to come work for me." And I was like, "Fuck yeah, come on, bro. You're Uncle Luke." So I ran with that opportunity, and then it's just kept building, pretty much building from there.
Okay. Who or what inspired you to get started?
I wouldn't say there was a who. I always love. I was more into movies, actually. When I originally started, I was more in the Tyler Perry kind of mind frame, where I was like, yeah, I'm going to star in movies, and I'm going to direct, and I'm going to write. So when I went to school, it was more so for film. But then music kind of just snuck in there, and I still loved music. But when the opportunity came up, I was like, I don't know if I want to do music. But then, the kid who I was swapping internships with, he was like, just do it because, you never know what will happen. And then look at all the careers that wouldn't have happened if I would have stuck with the movie side. So I went to school for movies and TV was my original passion. So I was going to school for TV and film, and an internship made itself available because one of my homeboys was moving to New York, and he told me, it was like, hey, it's a management company for music. You should take it. And I was like, but I really wasn't in the mind frame of music. And I was like, well, I don't really, I'm learning music, but I'm only learning it because they're teaching it to you. But I did like when I was at the studio, so I was like, all right, let me try it out. So I went to there, and then that's when I met Luke, and Luke just liked me. He was like, yo, I love your energy. I want you to come work for me. And that's when my first job and my first signing was Luke Records and Pitbull.
Okay.
That was the start of my career.
Where did you find them? Like, how did you end up getting like in touch with Pitbull?
And my homeboy Jamie, who I haven't seen forever, like literally since way back then. Jamie, let me rewind. Sorry, Uncle Luke had a show in Japan. When we got back, he was like, "Yo, the next big rapper is gonna be an Asian rapper. Find me an Asian rapper. We're gonna blow him up." So I was like, "All right, cool." So I go. Now, mind you, this is before cell phones and internet. This is old school. Have to go to talent shows and word of mouth. So Jamie calls me and he's like, "Yo, I got this guy. He's Asian and he raps. He's dope." So he gives me his phone number. I call him up. I'm like, "Yo, come to the studio." He's like, "Yeah, I'm working at my mom's restaurant. I can't." So like, next day, "Yo, come to the studio." I gotta still work. Every day was an excuse. So I was like, I called my homeboy Jamie back. I'm like, "Yo, your man's he ain't with it." So he's like, "Well, I don't have another Asian rapper, but I have this Cuban rapper who's dope." Right? Now here's the funny part. The Asian rapper was this guy named Jin. He ended up on Rough Riders, if you remember him. He had like a little hot moment when he disappeared. So then Jamie says, I got this Cuban kid, his name is Pitbull. He's dope too. So I was like, all right. So page him. So, yo, Pitbull, Jullian, Luke Records, I want you to come over by the studio. So Pit comes, pants sagging, braids in their hair, like, some real thug shit. So he's like, "Yeah, what's up? We chopping it up." But soon as I met him, I knew he was a star. Just when he was talking, his swagger, and he was broke. He had no money, but just his energy was great. And I was like, all right. But then when he went into the booth and he started rapping English and Spanish, and I was like, yo. He walked out the booth. I'm like, dude, you're a star, bro. You're a star. I promise you on life, you're a star.
Right.
So I showed him to Luke. Luke had the same opinion. He was like, yo, this kid's dope. So that was his first record deal. And that's when everyone started to know who he was. We took him on tour. And then he met Lil Jon through us. And Lil Jon felt the same way too. Lil Jon was like, yo, I love you, bro. Like you're dope. And that's when he hooked up with Lil Jon, that's when he got signed to TVT Records, and that's how his career started.
Okay. Would you say that's around the time Kulo had came out around that time?
Coolio?
Kulo. His song Kulo.
Oh, Kulo. Oh, the song.
Yeah.
No. Kulo was after that. All his big hits came after Lil Jon. Once Lil Jon came, and it was crazy because I had offered him a deal when I was at Slip and Slide, right? Because I told him, I was like, yo, I'm at Slip and Slide Records now, with Trick Daddy and da-da-da. He really wanted to come. He was like, yo, like, I would love to be next to Trick Daddy, because he was a huge Trick Daddy fan. obviously him and I from day one. So he was like, yo, I really want to come. But he was like, yo, I think I want to fuck with Jon. And I'm like, Jon's my boy. So if you go with Jon, like there ain't no love lost. So and it was the right move. Like Jon really helped him. So that's when he went to TVT Records and bum bum bum. Me and Pitt's story is crazy. Like I could go a whole hour talking about what happened with me and him and how he became Mr. Worldwide because it's literally insane. But I'm not gonna take up your whole show talking about that.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I would love to hear that story one of these days. Um, would you consider Pitbull to be the first artist you broke, or was there another artist that you consider to be the first one you broke?
No, he was the first one. Yeah,
He was first. Okay.
he was the first.
In a brief summary, what is the process of breaking an artist now versus breaking an artist back when you first started?
Well, the thing is, right? It's like there's no set roadmap when you're breaking an artist. Like there's no 1000% the exact same way. There's just elements of things that need to happen, right? So back then it was you had to get the record hot in the streets. That means the DJs, the mix show DJs, and the club, right? So we used to hire street teams, and they would go every night to the titty bar. They would go to the hottest nightclub, all the DJs, and you would have to sell the DJ on playing your record. Hey man, this is the hottest artist, especially if it was a new artist, because that's like me just walking up to you saying, "Yo, John Doe, he fire dog. He John Blaze. Here's the record, and I want you to play it at the club amongst all your other records and play a song that nobody knows, and I need you to play it." Right? So that's a lot of pressure on the DJs, and the DJ have to listen to the record, and that's why DJs are very much still important, but they were very, very important back then because they were the gatekeepers. They were the ones that made you a star or didn't make you a star, right? Now, nobody matters. The only person that matters is the artist and the fans, because now the artist can go directly to the fans, right? So you don't need a DJ to play your record. You can go on social media, let everybody hear your song, right? So now what happens is back then there was only so many artists, so many slots, but it wasn't as much competition, right? Now everybody's your competition. There's literally 40,000 songs released every week. Every week. 40,000 records.
Right.
Records that you will never hear. There's records on iTunes that your family, nobody will ever hear in 200 years. And it's sitting on iTunes right now. Right? Because it's so much music now. Right? So now you have to figure out, how do I get you to number one, see me, and then listen to my song, and then hopefully you listen to it again amongst all the other distractions in life. And that's the new challenge of breaking records.
Okay. That sounds way more difficult nowadays, but I guess depending on the type of effort you have to put into it, because I guess back in the day you had to sit there and actually put the footwork in. Now you can literally just message somebody in the proper way. That's pretty interesting.
Back in the day, you would have to drive. We used to drive from Miami all the way to Tallahassee and Jacksonville and all the way back down, right? Passing out our CDs, hand to hand, people, hey, posters, fly, everything, literally in person. Now I can do it like this. But
right.
but even though I can sit in my office and do everything from here, it's still a lot of work. That's the thing. Now, the other way was, I would say, honestly, a little bit easier, just very physically time consuming, right? With this now, it's mentally time consuming because you're fighting so many other distractions. It's so hard. Really think about it. Would you rather sell 1,000 people your CD for $10, or you have to convince 10 million people to listen to your song. Think about that for a second. You can go to a nightclub every night for a month and sell 1,000 CDs. If your hustle game is good and your talk game is good, you can go up to people and be like, yo, $10, bro. It's that John Blaze. If you got that real talk game, you can sell your CD, right? So if someone told you, hey, bro, you have a month to sell 1,000 CDs, you could be like, I could do that. If I really hustle hard every day, I can probably do it in 2 weeks. Because a hot club got 500 people. And even if you get 10 to 50 people out of every club every night, it'll add up quick. But imagine now if I tell you, hey, you got to convince 10 million people to listen to your song. Like, where do you even start? You shoot a video, you stick it on YouTube, but where do I go to figure out how do I get 10 million people, bro? 10 million. That's the whole state of New York to listen to your record. That's the new challenge now. So, I don't know. Honestly, it's easier in the sense of accessibility to the world now, because now I can promote in Australia with the blink of an eye. I can promote in New York. I can promote in West Africa. Easy. Push of a button right on my phone, right? But again, it's so much competition now. So before, when I was swimming in that little pond, I was a big fish because there wasn't a lot of competition. But now you're swimming in the ocean. So now you're competing with hundreds of thousands of other people who want the exact same spot. And there's only, at any time, 20 hot spots on any chart, on any billboard, on any Spotify that you want to be. And those are usually when you hear like Drake records and Future records and Lil Nas X and all these guys. They're the top 20. Those are the top 10. That's where you really want to be at. So now you have to fight literally hundreds of thousands. And you have to fight your way up past everybody till you get to that top. That's the challenge now.
Okay. Do you think that would, being that social media is in the play right now, do you think it's made it easier or more difficult, in your opinion, for an artist to grow their brand and gain exposure?
Definitely easier. Definitely easier. Because, again, everyone has a phone. You have access to everybody. Before, you would have to do something, get in the news, and then you'd have to wait and hope that everybody sees it at some point. Right? But now, I could just slap somebody. Everybody will know about it instantly around the world. All right? Anything, if you're in the celebrity eye, you can do anything and the world will know about it literally instantly. Like that.
True.
So that part I will say that makes it easier to grow your brand. Now again, the hard part is, how do I separate myself from everybody else? How do I make myself different without doing something that's not me? So I got to think of something clever that I can promote with myself without, if I put a clown costume on and I'm riding a little bicycle outside, that's not me. If somebody was to see that, they'd be like, Jullian, what the fuck you doing? Right? Because that's something I just wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So it's going to look like I'm doing it for likes and follows. And even if I get those, it's just not you. So you have to find something that's you, number one, that's natural, and still is something different than what everybody else is doing. Because if you're doing what everybody else is doing, they're going to go right past you.
True. So what do you think are the top 3 things an artist needs to be successful?
They definitely need, I'm going to go from 3 to 1. They definitely need money. Okay. Money is very helpful.
Okay.
A lot of artists, they're so like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go do this and that. How you going to do it? Everything costs money. Every time you do one little thing, it costs $1. So sometimes as an artist, especially when you're young, and if you really want to do it, then you have to sacrifice everything. Your family, women, man, whatever the hell you into, you have to cut it all off, right? So if either you're going to find people who are going to invest in you, or if you have to invest in yourself, then what you need to do is like, I need to get a full-time job and a side hustle. And then every other moment, I'm in the studio cooking up stuff. So when I save up enough money, I can do some little things. So money is just something that's needed no matter what you do or try. You're going to need some form of financing. I would say second is a game plan slash even if it's one person, but somebody that is going to help you team wise, right? If you're trying to go somewhere and you don't know where you're going, the first thing you would ask for is a map. How do I get there with my GPS, right? So if you're trying to blow up, artists feel like they just know. How the fuck do you know? What do you think it consists of? So you need to find somebody or a team or whatever it is and tell them, hey, bro, listen, this is my situation. I'm hot. I'm dope. Here's my song. I have X amount of dollars. I got $5,000 I saved up. I need a game plan. Help me. Right? So that person can say, cool, this is what you should do to be able to start your shit. So then, cool. Instead of just, I'm going to go to the studio, I'm going to cut a hot record, I'm going to drop it on SoundCloud, I'm going to blow up. Bro, you might as well play the lottery then too. You might as well. Because when people hear those type of stories like Lil Nas X and he just put the song out and it just blew up, it's like, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but it's like the lottery. Somebody's going to win it. It's still a 1 in a million chance though. Right? So it's like, yeah, someone's going to win, but more likely it's not going to be you. Right? So you have to have a clear game plan and a team to help you and or find someone who will just give you the game plan. And that way, at least you know what to do. So you're not wasting a little bit of money that you saved up. And then number one is you have to be relentless. If you don't breathe, like if not doing music doesn't drive you crazy, like if you're not willing to sacrifice at all, if you're ready to be like, yo, I don't care about Christmas, I don't care about going to the club, I don't care about hanging out with this hot girl, I don't get, like, you have to cut everything off, and it just got to be music. Everybody who I've ever worked with, Pitbull, Rick Ross, these guys are so focused, and that's why you'll see them succeed more so than their counterparts, right? Because Instagram make things look good, but the real businessmen, you can see them really working, and they're in different starting up different companies and the partnerships that they're doing. Like, these guys can't sleep. They wake up grinding. And if that's not in you, you're never going to make it as an artist. Because the less talented people will make it more so than the more talented person who doesn't want to work. They just feel like, well, I'm talented, so somebody should just hear me sing and I'm a superstar. No, the person that's under you, who's going to outwork you and outrun you every single time, they're the ones that's going to get the deal. And then you're going to be the bitter person talking shit. I sing way better than that motherfucker. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. You sit on your couch, keep working at Walmart. No disrespect to Walmart, but that's where you're going to end up, even though you could have made it. But the problem is, you wasn't willing to sacrifice. You wanted to go to the club. You wanted to go hang out with your friends that are bringing you no value. None. Like, I hate when people be like, yo, let's go hang out. All right, but we hanging out. Well, what are we doing? Like, my friends, I have to have half business partnerships and then friends all in the same person. Like, I don't want to hang out with you all the time and we're just out spending money and not making no money. I don't need no friends like that. I sit by myself for that. But anybody who's around me, we have at least one side hustle together. We're making some kind of money together or some kind of moves together. So that way, when we are hanging out, we celebrate it. Oh yeah, we just did that. Awesome, bro. Blah, 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 blah. Let's pop some bottles. Cool. Because we just did that deal and da 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 da. But we just hanging out to hang out. But for what? Look, but I ain't in high school no more, bro. Like, no. I need business friends. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I forgot what the question was.
Oh, the question was just what do you think the top three things are an artist need to
Oh
be
yeah. I
successful?
was
But you answered
yeah. I was,
of them. Money, having a team, and being relentless. You definitely did that. Definitely, and
yeah.
I totally agree. You're right about that. So let's
Yep.
say you were going to sign an artist. What is the it factor that makes you say they don't have it all yet, but I see the potential? Let me sign them before so and so finds them and puts the money behind them.
Oh yeah. I mean that's the majority of the situations that I'm in. I usually find an artist and I'm like, I feel like I can take you to that next level. You know, like if I feel the way I feel about you, then I know the world will feel the exact same way, or at least the majority of it. Just like with Rick Ross, when I heard his Triple C's mixtape right when he cut it, and I was like, this guy's our next superstar. Nobody really knew who he was. Like, you know, he made little appearances here and there. We put him on Told Y'all on the All About the Benjamin soundtrack. Um, and that's really when people started kind of seeing him a little bit, but he still wasn't like what he was now. This is before he even had a beard. His beard was like as big as mine right now. And but I knew I was like, yo, Ross is cold. Like he just had it, man. He had it. Um, Same thing with Pitt. Pitt's swagger what sold me first, but then his when I heard him rap, I was like, cool. Um, so yeah, I just it's just a gut feeling, you know. My gut has, for the most part, hasn't let me down. So usually when I just kind of feel it, like, yo, I can picture you on TV, I can picture you on a stage, I can picture you walking down the red carpet. I can when we're vibing and we're chilling, I'm imagining if you're doing an interview on TV, how would people receive you? So once all those factors kind of kick in my head, and I still got to hang out, like I have to hang out a couple times with you. You know, it's not always just instant. Because sometimes I've been wrong. Like it felt good for a second, and then it was like, nah, you whack. I ain't gonna say nobody's whack, but I'm just saying, like for me, my energy. Listen, I'm not perfect. I passed on Young Thug. That was one of my biggest mistakes because I just didn't at the time when he came out. I didn't even understand what he was saying. I was like, "What the fuck is he saying?" So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Yo, how am I gonna
Like what?
help manage somebody?" And I don't even know what the fuck they saying. Like, if a DJ asks me about the record, and I'm gonna be like, "I don't know what he's saying, bro." Like, I just felt like that was crazy. So, but big, huge mistake because obviously Young Thug is who he is now. Um, I didn't understand B.O.B. You know, my homeboy Jim Johnson, shout out to Jim Johnson. He had signed him and he was telling him like, yo, this kid's dope, this kid's dope, this kid's dope. And he was dope. I just didn't see where he ended up because he wasn't making the music that he ended up making. He was making like kind of hip hop with guitars and stuff. And it was dope. He's a dope artist. But where he ended up, yeah, I just couldn't see it either. So I just didn't pay attention. I was just like, yeah, whatever. So sometimes I'll miss it, but for the most part, you know, I nail it.
Okay. If an artist wanted to have you in Fast Life Entertainment help bring their vision to life, how would they go about making that happen?
I was I would just have to hear the music. You know, once I hear the music, I'm gonna and see the artist. I'm gonna know uh, how far my involvement is gonna be. You know, so I'll just look and be like, all right, you know, because sometimes I may not be able to dive all the way in because when I dive all the way in, it just takes a lot of my time. So I have to, in my head, be like, I got to make sure this outcome is successful, right? But other times, if it's just some kind of help I can give, then I'll be like, yeah, I can do this for you. And then if it picks up, then I'll jump and dive in. But I can't just give you like all of me right now, you know, because it is a commitment. Like it's a very deep long commitment when you're signing somebody to like management.
You and my manager Chuck Reeves have been on putting on the next to blow from city to city, starting in Charleston, following with Atlanta, coming up next in Detroit, and so many more cities after that. Um, what are you trying to accomplish with the next to blow, and how did the next to blow come about?
Um, I mean, exactly that. We're looking for the next to blow. So we go to city city, we get different flavors from different people. Um, yeah, I mean, I love hearing new talent. I love hearing, and it's not even just about artists. Like sometimes it could be a particular song that just I feel that could work. Um, it could be, songwriting. I might hear a record and be like, yeah, that was dope. I want you to pen this over here. Soundtrack music. So there's so many opportunities. Like when I'm watching an act and I'm listening to the music, you never know where it leads. And that's the thing that I explained to artists. Even when I was younger, I would put myself in everything. And if there was a panel, a networking conference, I don't care what it was, I was there. Because one meeting, one time, it's never instant. It's a year later, someone will call you and be like, "Oh, I met you at so and so, and da 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 da." And you remember that record you played? Yeah, I want to do this and that. Like I've had relationships like that. Even myself, like I'll remember something, and like, "Oh man, that song's perfect." And I'll call the producer and be like, "Yo, I played this record for you like 3-4 years ago." And I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't ready for it then, but I'm ready for it now." So you never know, like what is it? What's there to lose? A couple bucks, and that could change your life. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know. One meeting can change your life. I met Amada. When I called her, that meeting changed her life. She didn't have the things that she has now. I presented an opportunity and I laid out a blueprint for her, and when she executed it, it worked. So at the end of the day, um, well, that was it. That's what I must say.
Okay. Yeah, at the end of the day, make sure y'all take the chance to meet this gentleman at the next to blow, whether it be in Detroit, whether it be in St. Louis and Winston Salem. Make sure y'all tap in. You never know who you might meet. The last next QC in the house with Fast Life Entertainment and Inferno Music Group on top of that. So you never know who you might have the opportunity to meet and what it might do in the future. So definitely
Exactly.
opportunity to tap in. Um, so, as creatives and business owners, we all go through a lot of ups and downs, especially with the pandemic just happening. Family situations. Some of us are fathers, some of us are mothers. You never know what we got going on in life. What drives you to keep doing what you do?
I have this blueprint in my head, um, literally for my entire life and my family's life. Um, like sometimes I'm wondering if I'm insane because I'm like literally writing down to everything, to my son's name and which department he's going to work in. So I have this thing, and to me, I've done nothing. I've literally just scratched the surface of the accomplishments that I need to do. Um, but I believe in God's timing. I honestly do, because had I had the success I'm having now when I was younger, I would have completely messed it up. Like if I had money when I was young, I was too wild, and I was too out there. Like I would have been gone. Like it wouldn't have worked. So I think God just like let you mature a little bit, and then I'm gonna start dropping some bigger things on you. And that's exactly what's happening. So when you're mentally ready now, you just make smarter moves. You know, when you're not chasing stupid things, when opportunities come, you're able to maneuver and make them big. So like next year, especially, man, I got TV show in the works that I'm putting together. Um, and then hopefully I can get this first movie done. Um, yeah, man, I'm going full steam ahead, man. I got a few documentaries coming out. Publishing a book for Shay Johnson on Love and Hip Hop. I'll probably be back on Love and Hip Hop next season. Um, So it's a lot of great things, man, and that's why people should come out too, because I know people will be hearing like the other talent on the show. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, nobody can come on the show but me." Listen, I'm gonna keep it real right here, 1,000. The only person, as far as talent is concerned, that has the real pull is me. I casted literally 60% of the first season. Everybody on that show, I was there from the inception. Me and Mona Scott sat down way before anybody was even talking about Love and Hip Hop Miami, right? And her and I sat down, and that's when she was like, "I want to bring it to Miami." And literally at the time, I had Trina, I had Amada, I had Pleasure, I had Shay. Like I had everybody. Like I was managing like 80% of the damn cast the first season. So definitely come out if it's something that you think you could be on and you have the personality to do it. Because if you're dope, and I'm not even talking about just Miami. I'm talking about Atlanta, New York, LA. Like the casting directors, they love me because I've been able to give them artists that really blew up. So they know I know what I'm doing.
Okay. Definitely make sure you tap in with Jullian Boothe. Make sure y'all tap in with Fast Life Entertainment and the artists that are attached to the roster. Definitely tap in with all the artists that he's already broken and that will be breaking in the future. If you want to tap in with Jullian Boothe, definitely look him up on IG. Look him up on LinkedIn. You can look him up on Google even. And if you're watching television, definitely tap in with him on VH1, Love and Hip Hop Miami. Definitely tap in with him. Where else can the people find you as well? If I didn't name off all of them.
Social media, yeah. Instagram. I live on Instagram and TikTok, so you can always go there. Jullian Boothe. It's only one Jullian in the music industry. So once you see and hear the name, you know it's official.
All right, y'all. Well, unfortunately, we are experiencing some technical difficulties, but that was our interview with Jullian Boothe, the CEO and founder of Fast Life Entertainment, the vice president of Slip and Slide Records, and former VP of Luke Records. Make sure y'all tap in with him. This man is doing a lot of great work. I know y'all seen him on Love and Hip Hop Miami. I know you've seen him with Trina, with Trick Daddy, Pitbull, Pretty Ricky, Pleasure P, Amara La Negra, and so many more to name off. Make sure y'all tap in with this man. The next place we will be is in Detroit, Michigan. Make sure y'all tap in with us. Inferno Music Group, myself, Jaquan the singer, Quick Stacks. Make sure y'all tap in with us at the next to blow. All right? Y'all now have tuned in to the Journey Podcast. I appreciate you.